Tony on the zone. He silenced Britain's best. Usyk, the Brit breaker, but now the dynamite is ready to explode. One night, one shot, and undisputed. Usyk versus Dubois 2. July 19th. Right now at thezone.com/boxing.
Alright people, so Jack Catterall wins a 6-round technical decision over Harlem Eubank. Let's talk about this fight. Before we get into it, if you could, just smash the like button, hit subscribe. You'll see it there on screen. I hope you do like the images. We're on the road this weekend, people. We're back home in Dublin. And I need to buy another tripod for back home in Dublin because a lot of people love the studio, the new studio setup I have back in the flat in London. And I couldn't move it because then I would be wrecking the setup. So we're doing audio for this weekend only. It's only for this weekend. We'll be back here for Usyk versus Dubois 2. We will have a tripod and stuff in place for then. But for now, you are going to get some imagery on screen. I hope you do like it. Let's talk about this fight. I feel bad for Jack Catterall. And I'll tell you why. Because Jack Catterall is getting a lot of stick online about this performance. And in some sense, you would say rightly so. It was not a good performance. No, sorry. It was a good performance by Jack Catterall. That's the wrong word. It was a good performance. It was a workmanlike performance that Jack Catterall normally does. The problem is Jack Catterall in the ring and outside the ring is not the most entertaining guy. In fact, Jack Catterall is really an insomniac's wet dream. He's very bland as a person. I'm sure he's a lovely person. He comes across as that, but he's not got the most charisma. And in the ring, his fights would bore you to death. Watching the first 6 rounds of this fight was hard, to say the least. And so much so that Turki tweeted about this fight. So Turki said about a week or a fortnight ago that there's no more Mickey Mouse fights. Or sorry, not Mickey Mouse, Tom and Jerry fights. There's no more Tom and Jerry fights. There's no more running. He wants fighters to essentially, if you're going to box, throw punches. You know, be a boxer puncher, be aggressive, like a Pernell Whitaker or Floyd Mayweather back in the day, stuff like that. Don't be running around the ring. Well, he tweeted words to the effect of, this isn't a Tom and Jerry fight, this is a Jerry fight, and that this isn't boxing. So, pretty damning from Turki the man who you want fighting your corner. He is not complimentary of neither Jack Catterall nor Harlem Eubank. So, I would not be expecting Jack Catterall on any Riyadh season shows anytime soon. Unfortunately so, but maybe some would say fortunately, who knows. Let's talk about this fight. So, going into this fight, it went very under the radar. Jack Catterall, his fights, they normally do go under the radar. Again, I don't mean to come across as disrespectful, but it's just the fact. At the end of the day, Jack Catterall fought Barbosa back in February in the co-op arena, same arena that Chisora fought Otto Wallin the week before. Barbosa had world title implications. Chisora just fought Otto Wallin. And the difference in size, and the difference in capacity was vast. It just shows that Jack will, he couldn't draw a bee to honey at the end of the day. I mean this in a not so disrespectful way, but it's just the fact. Jack Catterall in this fight went under the radar. He's fighting Harlem Eubank. I've never rated Harlem Eubank at all. I've seen this guy struggle with journeyman. I'm pretty sure early in his career he won a very contentious decision over a journeyman at one point as well. So I went into this fight thinking Catterall should win this fight. He's a level above Harlem Eubank. It's being fought at 147 pounds, so both guys are moving up. But realistically, Harlem Eubank is the natural 140 pounder of the two. He was meant to fight Adam Azim, I think about a year or so ago, about a year or so ago. It didn't transpire for whatever reason. So this is his big night. And the zone commentary after, because this fight obviously ended on a clash of heads, it looked somewhat, I would put the blame solely on Harlem Eubank for that. Some would say it was accidental. It did look, I'm not going to say it was deliberate, but it was reckless, is probably the best word I'd use from Harlem Eubank. It's very reckless clash of heads. And it resulted in a horrific cut over the eyebrow of Jack Catterall. Very bad gash, really bad. I knew as soon as I seen it, I was like, they're never going to let him carry on with that. And they didn't. Now, the zone commentary team were making it out as though Jack Catterall just nicked this fight, which was bizarre because as far as I was concerned, Jack Catterall was in complete control of this fight. He didn't lose a round. He lost one round on all 3 judges' scorecards. I couldn't find a round to give to Harlem Eubank. Harlem Eubank showed his limitations in here. He looked a bit erratic in there at times. The movement was all over the place. His distance was all wrong. Jack Catterall just went through the motions as he always does. And that's really all he needed to do in there. He was boxing well. He was letting the left hand go. He's a southpaw, obviously. He was letting that go. Landed some good body shots on Harlem Eubank. I never noticed Harlem Eubank remotely stunned in there. And I know some people have questioned Harlem Eubank's chin. They've said, he's been stunned a couple of times by Journeyman. He didn't appear noticeably stunned, but he just didn't keep his shape very well in there. And Jack Catterall, long range boxing, getting up close. Jack Catterall was doing what Jack Catterall does. Unfortunately, it's just not the easiest on the eye. It has to be said. It's just not the easiest on the eye. And he was winning these rounds pretty much like clockwork. Then an exchange happened in round number 6, where Harlem Eubank led with a shot. He bored in quite recklessly with his head, and it resulted in a cut. Well, actually, it resulted in a clash of heads, which resulted then in a cut for Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall immediately was like, something's wrong. And, immediately he was complaining to the referee. You could see the gash was there. You could see it was bad. You knew going back to the corner, that's going to be the end of it. He's never going to be able to carry on with that. And it was weird because very strange. So as round 7 started, they appeared to let Jack Catterall carry on. And then they called Harlem Eubank, who had a bit of a cut but nowhere near as bad. And it appeared like they stopped the fight for him. So you were thinking, hang on a minute, why are you stopping the fight for Harlem Eubank? He's got the lesser of the cut. Then Harlem Eubank proceeded to celebrate up on the ring rope. But I'm thinking, what on earth is going on here? I mean, for all the world, it was a clash of heads. So you can't rule that, a punch. And Harlem Eubank's celebrating here like he just won the fight. So what's going on here? And then when they're talking about decisions and stuff like that, my guy is still acting like he won the fight. I was like, mate, you lost this fight soundly. They announced then it was a technical decision. It was an accidental clash of heads, all that stuff. So that was the fight. Not a lot to say about it. I would just say for Jack Catterall, the fact that Turki is tweeting about this fight and not in glowing terms, I would worry a little bit about that moving forward. I really do. See, I hate to sound bad because, as I said, Jack Catterall seems like a good guy, but what do you do with him? I'm not saying he's shot or anything like that. He's not, but he's just not. Jack Catterall is just miscellaneous, is the best way I could describe him. And he doesn't have that charismatic appeal. He doesn't have anything to really endear himself outside of his little niche following. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know what you do with him. I really don't. And if Turki is tweeting basically saying this isn't boxing, I mean, that's not a particularly good look to have. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on this fight. Let me know yours in the comment section below. People, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, I will hopefully I'm back in London on Tuesday night. So, unless news breaks, you'll probably see us on camera in the studio setting, which I absolutely love. I know a lot of people like the new, background, the new setup, everything. I love it myself. I think it looks amazing. I'll be back there on Tuesday night, and I'll get the videos back out Wednesday. So until then, you will get sights of Dublin. You'll get sights of Dublin. Pretty much all the clips there are from Dublin. You might see 1 or 2 from London, but they're pretty much all from Dublin. So you will get that for the foreseeable future, for the next 3 or 4 days, up until Tuesday evening anyway. So until then, I hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. And people, until next time, I will leave it there. Peace.